to get set for this game, and they didn't show up at home under the bright lights. We have to, unfortunately, dish out some blame. Who's to blame for this loss? And I feel like if I'm looking at it, and if I'm a quarterback in the NFL, I want to play for the Cowboys. I want a star running back. He has that. And Zeke Elliott, who, granted, he's been struggling late in the offensive line, hasn't been great. I want a #1 wide receiver, which he now has in Amari Cooper. I want an offensive line that maybe isn't playing as well as they played my rookie year, but that's still good. I just feel like it's getting a little bit harder to make understandable excuses for Dak Prescott. Do you know what I mean? Like, he pretty much had, they have the #1 ranked defense going into this game as well. So to me, there's a lot of blame to go around, but a play like this in the first quarter, I mean, the Titans had to be salivating seeing Dak Prescott. I just don't know how you can blame anybody else for this into double coverage shot to Amari Cooper. I don't know if it's forcing him the ball. Nate, tell me what's going on here and what he saw, because this is, I don't know how to blame anybody else.
Yeah, he's trying to give his wide receiver, his new wide receiver, a chance to go up and get it. When you're a true #1, that's not a bad pass. I mean, he could have actually tucked it away and ran with it, but you look at Calvin Johnson, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, those guys are getting that same ball thrown to him. I'm not sure that Amari Cooper was able to gather his feet, stop, and go up and grab that ball like Dak Prescott assumed. But you're right, though, okay? I mean, at the very least, you're the decision maker. So if you feel like your wide receiver can't come down with it, you got to tuck that ball away and live to play another down.
I just like when the Cowboys are good and competitive, and I thought they would win at home. The Titans' offense was so anemic. They had the best defense. It did not happen that way.
Yeah, it's better for the league when the Cowboys are good. You know, I issued a statement to Scott Linehan early in the season. I said, you know, I want to see the creative side of this offense. Oftentimes in certain situations, they say cooler heads prevail. Well, in the NFL, creative minds prevail. And we're seeing that more often week in and week out. You look at the offenses that we love, the Saints, the Rams, the Chiefs. It seems like week in and week out, they're reinventing themselves. So for me, I'm looking at this team. It has to start with them. It starts with Garrett, and it starts with Scott Linehan.
Now, you played for Scott Linehan. Does he have that in his bag? Like,
he does.
Can you just make that happen in week 10? I don't see it happening.
He does, but I think what stops him from doing that is the turnover in players. When you have guys that know the system, that knows the coaches, that knows the game plan, and you can kind of mix things up week in and week out, it's easier for you to do that. But when you lose a Jason Witten, a Dez Bryant, and now you're kind of getting guys in and out, you just got Amari Cooper. I mean, how difficult of an offense can you implement when you have a guy who just put on the jersey a week ago?
I feel like a lot of teams deal with injuries. A lot of teams throw quarterbacks into the mix, and for Dak Prescott to be the starting quarterback for the 3rd season, for Ezekiel Elliott to be there for the 3rd season, for all those offensive line, for us to still see that brand of football from the Dallas Cowboys is inexcusable. So I'll point to coaching. I don't take great pleasure in doing this, but the Cowboys were just 1 for 4 in the red zone. The 3 possessions where they didn't score, they missed a field goal, chippy. They had an interception that you saw. Kay just showed that Dak Prescott went was completely inexcusable. Any quarterback knows not to throw the ball into double coverage in the red zone like that. And 3, they had a turnover on downs in the last drive of the game where it was just, they threw a crazy halfback pass. They did all sorts of strange stuff. They also allowed the Titans to convert 80% of their 3rd down. So 11 of 14 times the Titans had 3rd down and converted 1st downs. That is a poorly coached team. That's a poorly disciplined team. And that is a team that on Monday Night Football, in front of a national audience, with a home crowd, with all of the bells and whistles and Jason Witten crying on the air, laid an egg. And that is not a playoff team. And that means that we have to start anew and figure out what's wrong.
I agree. And look, we're in the golden age of offense and creativity. And there's Goff and Mahomes. And yesterday, we saw Norv Turner, who was the Cowboys offensive coordinator 30 years ago, calling a double reverse to his best weapon and worked perfectly. My wife and I do game night. We're at the stage of our lives. We do game night and Chardonnay and categories. We could do a game on Monday night. We bring our friends over and close your eyes. Just guess what play the Cowboys run. Is it Zeke left or Zeke right and then a 5-yard pass on 3rd and 9? Yes, it is. It is so tediously predictable. And Amari Cooper is a fine player. I'm sure he'll be really good. It's not like this massive metamorphosis that we're going to see. Be bad, just don't be boring and predictable, because that right now, it is like 1925 right now.
Crazy thing is, NFC East still open.
Talk about it.
They could easily still turn it around, reinvent themselves. I know they had a lot of preparation coming off a bye, but